I see it too much, baby. I need to take some space.
Hey, hey, kiss me too much, baby. Hey, hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Junior's World of Soul. I am back with the new video. Yo, this is gonna be a special video because this video, I am giving y'all my top 7 R&B albums of 2019. Like, listen, but we gotta do this in 3 parts, y'all. So what I'm gonna do is tonight is gonna be from we're gonna go from 7 to 5. Night 2, we're gonna go from 4 and 3, and then the last night we're gonna do the last 2 that are my favorites of the year. As you can see, I came in when Anderson .Paak and Layla Hathaway's Reaching Too Much. I love that song. Actually, Anderson .Paak's album, his album Vinstra, was actually one of my favorite albums of the year. But I always feel like Anderson .Paak, he's a dope artist, and his album was definitely R&B based. But I felt like they're gonna throw him in the hip hop category anyway, and I felt like if I'm gonna make a list, I want it to be really strictly R&B. That's, you know, you can have a little hip hop flair to it, but his was really, you know, a R&B album. But I felt like it was really, really, you know, he was being an artist. You know what I'm saying? Because he loves soul music, and that's what I love about him. But at the end of the day, I felt like he's gonna kind of get put in that hip hop category anyway. So I was like, you know what? Let me have a list that has complete R&B on it. You know what I mean? So, but I definitely want to show respect because his album Rehearsal was one of my favorite albums of the year. Like, this album was so dope. He had some heavy hitters on there. Layla Hathaway, Brandy with Jet Black, which they fumbled on that single. Jasmine Sullivan, which a song should have been longer than what we got. But at the end of the day, you know, I thought it was a great album. But listen, it's all about R&B. It's all about my top 7 joints of 2019. So let's get this started. Let's start it off with the number 7 album that I feel is coming from the artist I'm talking about, Jonte Austin. Now, Jonte Austin is one of the baddest songwriters that has come out of this era. I feel the dude has really been out since like 1996. Like, he's been paying his dues, but he really started getting that exposure when he really started when he hooked up with Jermaine Dupri, with him and Brian Michael Cox and Jermaine Dupri, and they started working with the likes of Mariah and Mary J. Blige and Janet and Monica and Trey Songz and Usher. It was like these 3 guys really became like the tag team. Like, they are that dope. You know what I mean? Like, if you look on the charts from literally 2003 all the way to maybe like 2010, like, you're gonna see a Brian Michael Cox and Jonte Austin written song on the charts. That's just what it is. Like, he's one of the baddest dudes, I swear. But you know, in 2006, he actually came out with a song, the video, all that. It was called Turn It Up, and I love the record. Like, I thought the record was so dope, and I was just like, yo, when is this album coming out? And it never did. You know what I'm saying? And then you saw like he would do a lot of the demos, you know what I'm saying, for the artists, and that came up online, but he never really had a full-length album. Well, 13 years later, we finally got one, and I am talking about Love, Sex, Religion. And this album, y'all, is really straight R&B. Like, if you love R&B music, this album will be for you. Like, that's how, like, there's no shits with it. Like, ain't no mainstream stuff. It's just straight R&B. If you love R&B music, this album will definitely be for you. And I loved it when I heard it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when it comes to our songwriters that's now becoming the artists, I think they know what music that they want to present. And I really feel like Jonte Austin, he's an R&B dude, and he ain't got time to be playing the mainstream game. It would be great for him to cross over, but at the end of the day, just look at somebody like Usher's career. He getting that crossover money. You know what I'm saying? Can I take a drink on that? I know that's right, Jonte. You keep getting them checks. But anyway, but his album is dope. As you can hear in the background, that was the first single, Love Angel. I talked about it here on Current R&B Bangers. I thought it was an amazing album. I have some favorites on there. My favorites are Breaking Rules, Love Culture, Ride. I talked about on Current R&B Bangers. Also, a Detox, which I felt that should have been a single. He was on Ebro. He started talking about it, and I was just like, yo, when is gonna be the next single? You know what I'm saying? But we haven't gotten it. And then his duet with Bobby Storm. I think that, like, the whole album is dope, y'all. It really, really is. Again, like, if you really love R&B music, you will really love this album. You know what I'm saying? And I recommend you guys definitely check out Love, Sex, Religion. That's how dope the album is. Like, please give it a chance. People always try to say that R&B is not alive and well, and let me tell y'all, it really, really is, because the dude came with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm an R&B lover. You know what I'm saying? So I already knew what to expect. You know what I'm saying? And he succeeded my expectations. I thought the album was dope, and that's why it came in at number 7. Again, listen, Jonte, if you ever see this video, can we please get a second single? Like, do not let this album just go by the wayside. Like, you put your heart into it. You could tell what you wanted to do. You wanted to do an R&B album. That's what you gave us. And at the end of the day, we got Love Angel. We got the video. We need another video. Can it be Detox? But at the end of the day, we are, it is the winter time right now. We could get a ballad, so you can do Breaking Rules. You know what I'm saying? But please do not let this album die by the wayside. I really, really don't. But let me give y'all a few samples of it. But here is Breaking Rules, and this joint is so dope, and just giving y'all samples of my favorites. So here we go.
Breaking your rules, some things can't be held. Feel like a fool till you hate yourself. Want it so bad, think you're gonna die. Coming right back.
Sometimes in the night, hey, woo! Like, it's that, like, joint that just make you like you just move slow with it, like you like slow wine with it, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how dope the joint is. It's just a dope joint. So that's Breaking Rules. This one, Love Culture, I think everybody loved this song. When, if you look on his Spotify and you look on the favorites of, his top songs, Love Culture is the top. I liked it. It was a favorite of mine too. So here's a sample of Love Culture, and here we go.
It's love culture. Not ashamed to say everything I am. Baby, you elevate my girl.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he got that mid-tempo joint that just make you like move like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how dope this joint is. Like, he gave you Love Angel, like I said, like that you heard in the background, and it make you want to move. You know what I'm saying? But he gave you them R&B records, and these joints is R&B records, you know what I mean? The next one is entitled Still Mine. I was rocking to that joint at work today, and I was like, yes, I gotta play this for them so they can get a sample of this. So here is Still Mine, and here we go. All right.
And I wish that I could see you. I'm hoping we can talk. I understand I need you, and I'm hoping you will call.
Hey.
And I wish you was to mine.
Hey.
I just gotta know where you at.
You know what I'm saying? They got a little bounce to it. You know what I'm saying? Got a little, you can jam to it. You know what I'm saying? Got a nice little two-step to it. You know what I'm saying? That, again, that smooth R&B joint. Now, this last joint, that sample I'm gonna give for y'all is the joint Detox. I talked about it on Current R&B Bangers. I feel like it should be a single. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But this joint, if he wanted that crossover record, he had it with Detox. But it's still R&B, but it still gives you, you know what I'm saying, that crossover appeal. So here is Detox, and vibe with it, y'all. Here we go.
Worse than a drug, I'm so strung out on love, it's crazy. I'm slow, baby, I know.
Hey, you're worse than a drug, don't make me detox, cause I need your love. You see what I'm saying? saying? So like I can hear that on the radio, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that is a radio record, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, again, Jonte, can we get another single off this album? Like, this album is dope, pure R&B, it deserves it, and that's why it came on my number 7 on the list of my top R&B albums of 2019. Alrighty. Now the next artist coming in at number 6, that is number 6 on the countdown, is coming from an artist. His name is R. Lamar, and his album Surfacing. And it's crazy how I was introduced to him. Like, I really was introduced to him in 2017 with his song Close Enough, and then I had to go back and I listened to his song like Emotion. He had a song that really kind of put him on the map with Frustrated, and I have been a fan of him. I love his story. You know, he's from Florida. You know, he really didn't fit in, you know what I mean, because he really felt like he didn't fit in with the whites because he wasn't white, and he felt like he didn't fit with the blacks because they felt like he didn't fit in as far as his music, because he loved John Mayer, you know what I'm saying? He was inspired by that, you know what I'm saying? He still loved the 90s R&B stuff, but he was inspired by other genres of music, and people couldn't really understand that, you know what I mean? Then his family really didn't take him serious as him being a musician. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, I think in an interview, he said that he wanted a guitar or something like that, and his family kind of laughed at him because he was like, oh, really? You know what I mean? So, you know, he took all his influences and things like that. He went to college and all that, but then he ended up going to Nashville, because he could have went to New York. He really could have went to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? But he wanted to go somewhere where he knew he can be the artist that he wanted to. You know what I mean? And he ended up being that artist that he wanted to be. You know what I mean? And I really respect that, because as an artist, you got to be true to yourself at the end of the day. And you go, you know, if he would have went to New York, if he would have went to, you know, Atlanta, they would have made him into the artist that he might would have resented. You know what I mean? So I definitely respect R. Lamar. You know what I mean? But he released his album in November, and it's entitled Surfacing, and it's entitled Surfacing. And y'all, let me tell y'all something. This album, I have been listening to it. I know that he released it in the beginning of November, but it don't even matter. At the end of the day, like, this album, I listened to this album because what I really, really, really love about this album is the vulnerability of this album. To me, R. Lamar is something that is definitely missing, because I feel like, you know, the popular R&B artists, the dudes, feel like they can't be vulnerable in their music. It felt like they'd be too soft. It's like they want to be like rappers, and it's like, where's the vulnerability? It is okay, you know what I'm saying? Because I talked about R. Lamar so many times this year. I think about 3 or 4 times. I talked about Close Enough. I talked about Frustrated, I'm Alright with Brass Tracks. And again, I just feel like he has that vulnerability, and like he has a song that I talked about here on Current R&B Bangers called Boys Should Never Cry. And that song is so real, yo. Like, it's so real, because it's like men should never show emotion. And to me, that ain't cool. Like, you need to be who you are, show your emotion. That's why we have a lot of, you know, things going on with mental health and things like that, because people are not open with their emotions, especially when it comes to men, because it feels like when you cry, you soft. And that don't mean you soft. You just have feelings and you're human. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that causes mental health. You know what I'm saying? And his album really displays a lot of that. You know what I mean? I definitely have some favorites on here. One of them, Boys Should Never Cry. Let me give y'all a little bit of that. Like, you hear the emotion of the record. That's what I like about it. For me, because if y'all know me by now, y'all know that I'm definitely an emotional listener. So you gotta get me by the emotion of the production, the lyrics, something to bring me into my emotion, because that's what music does for me. It speaks for me. It cures me. It does everything. That's what music is for me. And I feel like that's what R. Lamar is doing in this music. He's being very vulnerable. You know what I mean? His song Lies, showing that women, or if you are a man and with another man, which it does not matter, love is love at the end of the day, they lie about their feelings. People lie about their feelings, y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might be messing around with somebody and somebody may be gaining feelings. And you might not have those feelings. And at the end of the day, don't lie to me. And that's what he's saying in the record. Like, if you don't, I would rather you be truthful to me, because now I'm starting to feel that you're lying to me. You know what I mean? And that's real. Like, these are some real topics that he's talking about on this. You know what I mean? Another song, Circle, which he's talking about mental health. And that's really big. That, you know what I'm saying, it's getting a lot of traction and people are very open with it. You know what I mean? Very open, and I definitely appreciate that, because people are scared to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? People are dealing with things, and some, like, you know, I just finished watching this interview that Taraji did, and she did it on when she started to discover that, you know, she needed help. And a lot of people, especially black in our community, we just be like, oh, nah, you know what I'm saying? We go pray to God and we be all right. But then the same problems come back a week later. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm very spiritual. I know God will work things at the end of the day. But sometimes you need help. And sometimes I feel like when I listen to his song Circle, I felt like, you know, you're going through so many problems in your life and you're just in a circle and you never can seem to really get out, and you just start losing yourself. You know what I mean? And that's what he really was talking about in Circles, and I think it's a dope record, and here's a sample.
I think I should talk to him.
Like you don't want to keep talking in circles to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it really affects you. And I love that he's talking about this in this album. Like, he speaks on a lot of emotional issues, and I really commend him for it. And we need a lot more people to do that, for real. Surfacing, which I talked about on Current R&B Bangers, I feel like that song is like when you feel like you're coming out of something, you're coming out of the depression, and you're like, oh my God, like I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? And he did that on this record, and he really talks about that. And I think this is a beautiful record, and that's why it's definitely one of my favorites. So here, coming in at, I'm acting like I'm talking about Current R&B Bangers, but here is Surfacing, y'all.
Used to be autonomic, but something came over me. Maybe a tidal wave or the moon and its gravity. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Him for really talking about emotion. That's what really got me to this album, and that's why I really put it on the list. But this album is dope. But my favorite has to be Lonely. And to me, it's just the emotion of the record, the lyrics of the record. Like, sometimes you just feel lonely sometimes, and you do, and we all have that, and it's okay to feel that way. And that's why I like that R. Lamar talked about a lot of emotional issues that we all deal with daily. And he made some nice beats to it that you can rock to it, but you can also listen to the lyrics, and it really touched me. And that's why this was one of my favorite albums of the year, because me being an emotional listener, this album really connected to my emotion. I really want to thank R. Lamar for talking about, you know, subjects that a lot of people are not scared, that a lot of people are scared to talk about. And vulnerability, it is okay. You know what I'm saying? So here's a sample of Lonely. So
even if we break somehow, even if we lose our minds, even if we let us down, I won't be hard to find. You won't be lonely.
be lonely. And also at the end of the day, when he talked about that too, because we do be lonely sometimes, but I also feel like at the end of the day, you're never lonely, and I feel like that's spiritual. You know what I mean? I felt like he put some spirituality in this record. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, y'all, if you really are fine in touching with your emotions and things like that, I really recommend you guys listen to R. Lamar's Surfacing album. It is a dope album. It makes you groove, but it also makes you think. It touches your emotion, the production, the words, everything. This dude is really, really dope, and he's in a lane that I feel like nobody is really in right now, and I feel like he's gonna do all right. So coming in number 6, that's R. Lamar with Surfacing. Alrighty. Okay. We at number 6. Hey. Alrighty. Well, coming in number 6 is from an artist that is from the UK, and I'm talking about Tiana Major 9. You know, the first time I just called her Tiana Major, and she hit me in on Twitter was like, it's Tiana Major 9. Thank you very much. Like, she got me together, y'all. Like for real. But this year she released her EP in January, and she entitled it Rehearsal at 9, and I loved it. And the way I was really introduced to Tiana Major 9 was by my brother Sin in 2008, and I've been a fan of hers ever since. And I talked about her on she's definitely inspired by Amy Winehouse, Lauryn Hill, D'Angelo. She's definitely, she comes from the church, all that good stuff. And at the end of the day, I love some church vocals, and this girl definitely has it. And, her vocal runs, crisp. You know what I'm saying? Because there's sometimes when people can do some vocal runs and it doesn't make sense, and it start getting on your nerves when you gotta be all over the place. Like, there's no need for that. Like, come on, stop. You know what I mean? But Tiana Major 9, I'm so happy for her because a couple of weeks ago she was on the Soul Train Awards. Her and Earth Gang, they recorded a song entitled Collide that I talked about here on Current R&B Bangers, and they performed it on the Soul Train Awards. Even though the sound wasn't all that great, but at the end of the day, she sounded good. And I hope people really started to see, like, this girl can sing, like, you know what I mean? Because the song is beautiful at the end of the day, but when their performance was, it kind of was a little, you know what I'm saying, because of the sound, but she sounded great, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I know Tiana Major 9 can sing, you know what I mean? So that's there. But as far as her EP entitled Rehearsal at 9, it actually came out in January. I didn't find out until May. Yeah, until May, the end of May. I was like, whoa, she came out with an album, EP, how did I miss this? And I'm thinking, I'm following her, and I'm like, how the heck did I miss her? You know what I'm saying? But let me tell y'all, this EP that she did is amazing. It really feels like you're in a rehearsal with her, and like, you're just listening to her record these songs. Like, I thought it was beautiful, I thought it was great, and I've been listening to her all year, and that's why I definitely had to put it on the countdown, so that's why it's at number 6. So at the end of the day, she's starting off the EP right. The song is called Altitude, and she's singing, it's showing her vocally. It's like this EP is really showing her vocally, and that's what I really like. I'm here for the vocals, you know what I mean? But here's a sample of Altitude, and here we go. Goes a little something like this. She kind of does that at the end of the song, so I felt like, let me do it right quick. You know what I mean? That was a good run. I got to drink me something, because that was a good run. Don't hate on it. But it's like when you listen to it, like, she's also influenced by jazz as well. So you can hear it on this EP just as well, and you can just you know, you can just see her jazz influences. Like I can hear some Sarah Vaughan in there, I can hear some Ella, you know what I'm saying, up in there. So especially with these songs, and like these songs, like again, I feel like you're in the studio with her. Not the studio, you're in her rehearsal. That's why I say Rehearsal at 9. I thought that was a beautiful title because you feel like you're there. You know what I mean? The next song on the album that's a favorite of mine that I talked about on Current R&B Bangers is entitled Cat and Mouse. And when I heard this song, I was like, yo, this is a hit, yo. Like, this is a hit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she's done it live in some interviews and things like that. But y'all, it's dope. It is so dope. And I talked about it and I love it. And what I like at the end, I wish I could play it, but I don't want you two to be acting crazy because they starting to mute people now, which is crazy. But anyway, Cat and Mouse, she, at the end of the song, she just starts singing, and it's definitely jazz influence. Like, it's so dope. But here's Cat and Mouse. I love this song. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. I feel like sometimes when I just want to relax, I just want to hear this song, and it feels good, and it got a little bop to it. So here's Cat and Mouse, and hope you guys really enjoy it. Here we go.
It's a game of cat and mouse. When I'm in, baby, you're out. You're always falling for my traps. Get out and come right back.
It's a game of cat and mouse.
Baby, I'll chase your love right down.
Remember my songs when we play a silly game of cat and mouse. See, you know what I'm saying? It's smooth. It's really a smooth EP, y'all. Like, it would be great for a glass of wine, and you could kind of chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to try to play it for Christmas when my family hits. You know what I mean? I'm going to try to play it to see, you know what I'm saying? Once you get the wine flowing, people get like a nice little beat, you know what I'm saying? You can move to it. You know what I'm saying? And my family loves jazz, too. So, they're going to hear the jazz influences in here. You definitely do. You know what I mean? So, I just want to play the end where you just hear her just scatting all over the place, and she going in, and she sounds really, really good. So, just listen. I'm sorry. Just listen. Like, she's just going off, y'all. Like, that's how dope it is. She's just going off like that. And I thought it was just so dope, for real. And her voice is so soothing. You know what I mean? It's really, really soothing. And really, this song that I'm going to talk about now is really my favorite on the album. It's entitled, I can never, because it kind of tongue-tied me sometimes. So, Dystopia. There is Dystopia. And this song is magical to me. Like, it's so magical. It's so soothing. Just her singing on it. Because, again, I'm a fan of talent. And when your talent really shines through, it's nothing a production or anything can do. And I feel like, really, Tiana Major's talent really shined on this record. And again, it's called There is Dystopia. And here we go. It goes a little something like this. I hope you guys really, really enjoy it and really just hear what I hear. You know what I'm saying? I think she's just that dope. Like, oh my God.
If your rain didn't fall, so I wouldn't change a thing. Oh, hallelujah, there is dystopia.
Like, come on, just the guitar. Bring it back.
They may look to me and frown. By the heart to you I'm bound.
Oh, sorry, I kind of messed up on there, but she kind of took me on a trance. Like, you're in a trance. And then eventually they add the beat in. And to me, I just feel like, y'all, her and her band, like, they were really just jamming in there and just making music. And that's what it's all about. Make feel good music. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? I definitely recommend you guys checking out this EP. This girl can sing. She's dope. I'm telling you, y'all, you will not be disappointed. I mean that, and I mean that, because this girl is just dope. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's coming in at what number did I say, y'all? That was number 6. So yeah, I was only gonna do from No. That was, yes. That, what did I do? I did, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gone for a second. Give me a second. Maybe a sip might help me. She was number 5 because 7 was, who was number 7? Wait a minute. Okay, number 7 was Jonte Austin. 6 was R. Lamar with Surfacing, and 5 was coming from Tiana Major 9, and that is Rehearsal at 9. Like, y'all, I'm only just getting started with these albums. I'm just smoothing y'all out right now. Don't worry, we gonna get to it. But I wanted to make it a too long of a video. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want y'all to be sitting here for like 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we gonna break it up. You know what I mean? So hopefully I will see you guys in a couple of days for part 2, and we're gonna do 4 and 3. We're gonna get from 4 and 3. But since it's the Christmas time, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna end with a Christmas song because we are there. And I'm gonna hit basically the song that my mom said I knew the words to before any other song. And this is a Carla Thomas classic. And I wanna get to the right place, y'all. Y'all see this video is mad like hood, but it don't matter. Y'all know how we do here at Junior's World of Soul. So here we go, and hopefully y'all should know it and write and sing along with me. So here we go. All right.
It's been a long, long time. Can't explain why you crossed my mind.
I guess it's just to say, gee whiz, it's Christmas. See y'all for the next 2. Peace.